Hello and welcome. And today's Monday, which means it's time to talk about Higehiro episode 6. Now, here's the thing. 5 episodes of Higehiro. I've learned to love this show. Not because of the characters, not because of the characters. I love the storyline where it's going. And seeing Sayu, a teenage girl who's having difficult problems in Tokyo, which we need to know more about that. We haven't got it yet. But the way how this is now, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the tension, though. It's like there's not much to say about her. It's not much to say about Sayu at this moment. But last week ended in a cliffhanger unlike any other. I mean, the cliffhanger shows that the cliffhanger shows that, sorry, a little hesitated, but because this episode kind of like thrilled. It was kind of emotional at one time, but sorry, I'm hesitating for a bit. But last week ended a cliffhanger. It was clearly a cliffhanger where that dick of a guy came out of nowhere, working at the same place Sayu's in, and I was pissed. Now, this week, I see where this is going now, because this episode 6 now is going to be in that moment where it's like the stars align. Let's see what his reaction is going to be. Sayu's reaction, and what will be the fallout between Sayu and Yaguchi. And you know, let's see how that turns out. So without further ado, I'm going to go right into the mix. Let's talk about it in this review of Higehiro episode 6. Now, for the last 5 episodes, we've seen Sayu going through dramatic things just to make her life better. We've seen that. I mean, she got a part-time job. She made a best friend named Asumi. She's staying with Yoshida and not doing anything. She's becoming like a normal, responsible girl. But then you know, that dick of a guy showed up in this episode, last week's episode with a cliffhanger. And now in episode 6, we see him trying to be a fucking douche. I mean, like, hey, you're Mayuchi, you know, because remember, Sayu goes through the door, changing her last name and all that stuff. So with him saying a different name, it's like, hey, I never forget a girl who I slept with. I slept with you. I know you. And then Asumi just came in right at the last second, trying to convince her, like, oh, her name it's not Sayu, it's Mayuchi, all that stuff. So trying to break them all. But the way Sayu's tension, her body movement, you can see Sayu's reaction encountering these people. Like I said before, this is gonna be one of those episodes when Sayu's gonna have to confront her demons, confront the past, and maybe work on her future for herself. So we saw that in Sayu. Okay, now as she's walking home, you got this dick of a dude, Yaguchi, right there saying, who you staying with? I don't mind coming with you. And now at one point, Sayu refuses. That's one step. Sayu refuses to not do a damn thing with her. But then he goes on saying, but he's like, just take me to your place that you're staying with. If you do, I won't tell the manager and Asumi that we slept together, all that stuff. So I'm like, damn, what a cop out that is. So you're gonna blackmail her. You're gonna blackmail everything that Sayu's done just for you to stay in her house and have sex with you? I mean, come on. And then now Sayu has no choice, because Sayu don't want to lose a best friend in Asumi, and she doesn't want to get fired. So I get why she had to do that. I get Sayu's choice. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but she had no choice because she don't want to lose her job. Okay, I mean, she don't lose her job and her friend. Now back to what I was saying. She took Yaguchi to her house. To Yoshida's apartment where she's staying at. And then she asked Sayu questions like, did you have sex, all that stuff, asking those kind of questions. She's like, and Sayu's being straight honest with herself, saying, oh, I'm just doing chores, I'm trying to ignore all of that stuff. But then he got on top of her, and I was so scared, like, oh, no. But she forcibly, like, slapped him in the face. She slapped him in the face. And he's still forcibly trying to have sex with her. Now, Sayu was powerless. She couldn't deal with this shit anymore. She's like, go ahead, just do it. And the tears, it was so emotional. I mean, the tears were there. The tears was there. I was like, oh my God. back and forth. I'm like this, like, oh no, 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 no. But then my boy Yoshida came in and saved her. She saved her and kicked him out. Now the confrontation between those two, I see the confrontation that those two had. Yoshida's and Yaguchi's confrontation. Now with Yaguchi, I can't believe I'm saying it, but he made one valid point. He made one valid point. He said, oh, what you gonna do now? If Sayu grows up tall, what you gonna do? Take care of her? We're both in the same predicament. We're both raising a girl that is not our daughter. We're just taking in someone hostage. You know what I mean? We're just taking a girl in, and that's it. We're making a crime. You know what I mean? You see what I mean? Not even remotely changing her name and all that stuff. We just took a high school girl in. That's a crime, all that stuff. So what's gonna affect you? So I get what he's saying to Yoshida. I get it. But Yoshida is not that type of guy who's gonna say, oh, Yoshida's not that type of guy. You know, he is a hard-working business guy who's gonna change Sayu's life. And I see that. Now the next morning, yo, Asumi, that's a good friend. That's a good friend. Props, you know, again, this was awesome. I will say this now. This episode was all about Asumi because Asumi has stepped up. I mean, she's been stepped up, but as a true friend, Asumi stepped up. She didn't even know, like, Sayu didn't even tell Asumi what happened when she went with Yaguchi. She saw it in Sayu's face that something happened. And then when Asumi came into the door, and Yaguchi was just being honest, straightforward. He's like, yeah, I would just have sex with her. I would try to have sex with her, but she was forcing it. She literally like slapped her in the face. I mean, Asumi slapped him in the face. I wish I would have seen it. I wish I could see it. They didn't show it. You just heard the smack sound. Like, you heard the sound of the smack. And you know, like I said, I really wanted to see how it portrays. Like, I really want to see the smack. Like, the smack, you know? I wanted to see that. I really do. But he deserved it. Now, the apology statement. The way how he apologizes is just too quick. It was too quick, guys. I'm sorry. I mean, like, think about it. He just goes out and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forcefully do this to you, all that stuff. And it just, again, the way how he said it, I'm sorry, was too, like, I'm not buying that one bit. I mean, you got slapped by Asumi, and then you're going to apologize after that one slap? It doesn't make any sense. Now, here's the thing. I mean, the only positive thing that he said to Sayu was, you're going to be a fine young woman. Yoshida is proud to take care of you. I understand he's looking out for you, all that stuff. That's that. But still, the way how he apologizes in the utmost thing, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. But leave it to Sayu saying, if you ever do that again, I'll get mad and all that stuff. So I get it. But still, the way he apologizes to Sayu, part of me wants to believe it, part of me don't. Because again, the way how he apologizes in that kind of fashion makes no sense. So Asumi is trying to cheer Sayu up. So we got a little glimpse of Asumi. We found out about Asumi, like, she lives in a big house. She lives in a big house. Her dad's a politician. Her mom's a lawyer. And with all that money, they gotta have a bigger house. But Asumi is not like that. But again, not only we found about their parents' jobs, we found about Asumi, like, why she had to dress up like a gal. And why she was in an argument with her mom. And this is the first time she actually argued with her mom and dad. We also found out that Asumi wants to be something that she doesn't want her mom to be. Like, you know how, like, passing the torch down, like, you know, I'm a politician, you gotta be a politician, all that kind of stuff. So in hindsight, like, and the sun is up, the mom is a lawyer. Asumi's mom is a lawyer. And Asumi's mom is a lawyer, and Asumi doesn't want to become a lawyer. She doesn't want to be like her mom. What she really want to do is to become an author. That's why she's taking up literature instead of law business. But she's taking up literature. So that's one step forward to her progress. I mean, the fact that she had to go through the limbs of like becoming an author and having arguments with her parents, that's one step forward to success of her life. So that being said, and not only that, we found out more about that because she lives alone. Because again, with her dad a politician, her mom's a lawyer, they're always out. She lives in this house alone. And this was the first time she actually told Sayu, this is the first time she actually told a true friend like Sayu to say, this is the first time I actually told someone about my house. So that makes sense. And I love the scene where Asumi and Sayu are staying in the house. I mean, watching the stars, you know, that's a good animation scene with them, where both of them just sitting on the stars, sitting outside and just watching the stars beautifully. And they were really open up to their problem that they had to go through. And again, Asumi is that one true friend. If you had to ask me who's the MVP of this episode, it's straight up Asumi. Like, that's a good friend. Let me say that again. That's a good friend. And I love Asumi in this episode. And then the ending is where Yoshida comes home, and Asumi said that she finally changed. Like, after living with you, I realized that I'm finally be able to start a future. That's the whole thing. She wants to start a future. So I'm glad that Yoshida and Asumi are really good people to help a young girl like Sayu have a life. Now next week is Yearnings, and it says it has a photo. It shows a photo for next week, and I took a guess. I look at that photo, I'm like, wait a minute, that's Yoshida as a baseball player? Then who's the girl? And I'm like, oh, here we go. And I got a new character has been unlocked. Let me say this again. We got a new character unlocked. So let me just say this. Let me sum this up in this harem situation with Yoshida. He got the boss, a girl who has a crush on you, the new worker, and now this childhood friend is there with you. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see where this is going. I can't wait to see this going. But that's all. So again, so this episode was really, really good. I mean, the plot of this the plot between this with Sayu's future, we see that the past will haunt her at times, but we see a glimmer of hope with her. I mean, she fought her fears in this episode against Yaguchi, and with the help of Asumi being the best friend that she is, we actually see the development of the friendship bond that those two have. And again, I like the direction of the plot that that Sayu is going through like each wall of her getting better and better. I mean, through like all these things that she has to overcome, we actually see that. And with Yoshida's, now here's the thing with Yoshida's plot, it's just that every girl's gonna be with him now. Well, not by every girl with him. I mean, like, there's gonna be like a time where it's like another girl will be targeted to be back into Yoshida's life. Truth be told, we'll see where this goes, and we'll see the chemistry that Asumi and the chemistry that Sayu and Yoshida's have. I'm not saying they're together, but I'm just saying they both working out on a future together and see what they would do in the long run. So thank you for watching this episode of episode 6 review of Higehiro. I look forward for next week's episode, and I hope you will.